Hello and welcome to A Book in 5 Minutes with me, Lindsay Milner. Today I'm looking at a classic of the personal development self-help genre, and it is called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. I first read this back in the 1980s. It was published in 1987. And it was recommended to me on a management training course back in the day when I was in the civil service. But it's cropped up a couple of times. I've seen it referred to, and I thought maybe I should reread it. I'm walking through the airport just recently looking for holiday reading. It was sitting there on the shelf, so I took that as a sign, bought it, read it. So I'm here to share with you, what did I think of it? Well, overall, I probably wasn't super impressed. There is a lot of wisdom in there. I mean, the title, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, I get that. I understand why that is an important thing. But I felt that the book was actually a little bit short on practical strategies, things to do. She talks about 3 levels of fear. And she says that the first level is, oh no, I can't do that. I couldn't speak in public. Oh, I couldn't speak up at a meeting. I couldn't apply for that promotion. I couldn't apply for that job. I couldn't talk to that guy because, you know, he might think I'm an idiot. Things that you want to do, but you just hold yourself back and you don't do it. So the second level she talks about is what's kind of behind that, and it's the bigger picture fears, like the fear of failure, the fear of rejection. You know, we don't apply for the job because we're afraid that we won't get it and then we'll have to deal with that failure. We don't talk to the guy because we're afraid he'll reject us and we can't deal with that rejection. And then the third level of fear that she talks about is, underlying all of that is the fear that I can't handle it. And that makes so much sense to me, is that whatever we're afraid of, the reason we're really afraid is because we're afraid that we can't handle what happens as a result of facing our fears, of actually going ahead and doing the thing. So what's the solution? Because that's what we really need to know, isn't it? We don't need to know what we're afraid of. We want to know, what do we do to get over those fears? And she's got a number of solutions, things like, you know, approach decision making in a different way, that, you know, whatever decision you take, there'll be opportunities in whichever path you take, so don't be afraid of making a wrong decision. Learn to trust yourself. That's kind of the first one, is, you know, learn to trust that you can actually handle what comes your way. And I think, okay, yeah, that does make sense, but please tell me, how do I do that? And for me, the book doesn't really give you actionable strategies to learn to trust yourself, other than the standard things is like, you know, try something small and build up, and then you'll eventually learn to develop that trust. The other real sort of bugbear I've got is that she talks quite a lot about shifting your thinking, you know, think positively. And our brains don't work like that. We can't just tell our brains, you know, oh no, get rid of those negative thoughts, let's just think about the positive ones, because the self-talk that we've got in our brain, it's so automatic. And she's got strategies like affirmations, different ways of sort of changing your thinking, which, you know, they can work for some people, but we don't always, all the exercises that she's got are kind of thinking exercises, and the problem for me is we don't think of those things when we're in the grip of emotions, which is when we actually need them. The upshot, I think, of her advice can be summed up: feel the fear and do it anyway. you know, recognise that even people who do things that we wish we could do, we wish we were brave enough to do, they have doubts too. They probably have some apprehension, some fear. The difference being that they don't give in to the fear, they rationalise it and decide to go ahead and do the thing anyway. And that's it. We need to find ways to become that person instead of this one that's sitting here going, no, too scared, not doing it. And for me, the book isn't strong enough on actual strategies that you can implement and take forward. I think as well, what we have to remember with any personal work like this is it's a work in progress. It always takes a long time. It always takes a lot longer than you think it's going to. Personally, I think I'd probably start with some of the strategies in things like the How of Happiness or Positivity, another one that I'm going to come on to fairly soon, because they call them positive psychology interventions. And they're still part of a bigger picture. They're still part of, an ongoing strategy and ongoing work in progress. But they can actually have benefits in the short term. Whereas I think a lot of this is more about, I read it in the 1980s. I still haven't implemented everything that's in here. Obviously I've learned a lot since then and I've moved on and I deal with things in a different way, but it's a work in progress. So would I recommend that you read this? It's another maybe. I think if you're willing to accept that it doesn't have the answers, it's just a little bit of advice that you can use to build on other things that you're implementing. Yeah, maybe spend a bit of time on it. It's reasonably readable. It wasn't the flat out most entertaining read, but it wasn't too bad. So yeah, if you feel the fear and do it anyway is something that you would like to learn to do, then yeah, read it. If you feel that you're a bit further back than that and you want to sort of build on other skills instead, on your positivity, I would maybe try something else instead. So that is this week's book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. I'm Lindsay Milner and see you next time. Bye.